Welcome to Ask the Lawyer radio podcast with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This podcast features a recording of our most recent radio show. We hope you enjoy the show, which features news, views, and interviews on matters such as immigration, personal injury, bankruptcy, divorce, family law, estate planning, wills and probate, deed transfers, civil rights, criminal defense, workers' compensation, and taxes, both individual and business. You can contact us at 855-768-8845 or visit us at www.askthelawyer.us. You have questions? We've got the answers.
Good day, good day, good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Don't divorce your children. Don't divorce your money. You divorce your spouse. Many times when we work with clients on contested divorces, i.e., there's assets associated with the marriage or children. So it could be children where child support has to be determined, where maintenance, alimony has to be determined, where selling one property here, one back home, or several, dwellings is concerned, because as people grow in a marriage, their assets grow and they purchase various homes, sometimes in New York State, sometimes obviously in other states, Florida, Georgia, California, in the Caribbean, Latin America, even Africa. Yes, people invest in real property. And the family obviously is getting what we call asset rich. Sometimes a business might be involved. And obviously, as I said before, children. Who's going to get custody? Who's going to pay child support? Most times, obviously, the spouse who has the children will receive child support, so those who have physical custody. What are the grounds for a divorce? Well, there are many. Irreconcilable differences, the simplest. You've been married for 6 months, things didn't work out, or 6 months or more, irreconcilable differences. There's abandonment, where one spouse just leaves the marital home. Constructive abandonment, one spouse refuses to have sex with the other spouse. Cruel and inhumane treatment, where we cite at least 3 instances where one spouse was, not abusive, because it could be both physical and mental abuse. So sometimes people think it's physical abuse, cruel and inhumane treatment. No, sometimes obviously it's mental torture. Adultery, well, you must have a corroborating witness. So most times people, instead of doing adultery, will do cruel and inhumane treatment. Although some religions, Seventh-day Adventists and Jehovah's Witness, they cannot get a divorce but for adultery. After this issue has been resolved, settled, so to speak, as to what grounds your client want to proceed in their divorce, then comes the question about assets, pension plans, 401k plans, savings that, people have in their bank accounts, their checking accounts, or other savings, stocks, stock markets. We look at all the assets. And the first document, besides filing the summons and complaint, we normally have our client fill out their net worth statement. We have to get their tax returns, normally for at least 3 years, but sometimes even 5. And they have to list all their assets and liabilities in the net worth statement. So it's a very detailed, cumbersome process, but it is a process necessary to determine who gets what and why. Some people, and that's why we started by saying, don't divorce your money, don't divorce your children, you divorce your spouse. So some spouses, especially the male ones, they want to run away so quickly they don't even want to make claims to what obviously is in their financial best interest. Obviously, monies that they might have accumulated during the marriage that was obviously marital property. The longer the marriage is, the more claims that spouses have with each other. The grounds for the divorce very rarely has any determination on whether or not a spouse could receive more or less assets from the other spouse, and we determine that on a case-by-case basis when we meet with our clients and we go through the details of the relationships and the assets of the marriage. Matrimonial issues, as we said, is not always obviously amicable. Sometimes it is. A lot of resentment may foster, where that love is no longer there. And it becomes a lot more complicated, as I said, especially if the children are younger as opposed to being older. What happens in those relationships, both spouses are battling for the love of their children and may put the kids in the middle of the battle. That's why we say don't divorce your children. In a divorce, obviously maintaining that relationship as a father, as a mother, is important for that child's development. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. In matrimonial matters, contested divorces, we like to get our cases before a judge as quickly as possible. So normally, once we have served the other party in a divorce matter, we will immediately file for a PC conference, i.e., we want to meet with a judge and the judge's clerk to set a schedule for discovery, to determine whether or not immediate relief might be needed, whether it be maintenance or child support. Because in these situations, the spouse, obviously with the children, will need financial assistance from the other spouse, the husband. And if he is living somewhere else or she is living somewhere else, then that financial responsibility has to be met to take care of those kids. So whether it be child support or maintenance, you could get, obviously, emergency assistance as a party in the divorce. The more complicated issues with stocks and pensions and other issues, these assets have to be evaluated, and whether it be Lexington, one of the companies that assess the values of pensions that we work with, or whether it be an appraised value of the property or properties. These professional evaluations has to be done, and obviously those things take time. We try to expedite these matters because both parties want to move on, start living a normal life where the stress of that failed relationship is not there. And obviously, especially when there's children, it is the best interest of the children actually that these financial issues be settled so that everyone can move on, including the kids. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Again, we're talking about matrimonial issues. Obviously, you should consult with the attorney before you start the divorce. You determine, obviously, what the attorney fees is going to be. What is the plan of action in terms of how, what are you entitled to? The experience of an attorney does make a difference. At the law firm of Figueroa & Associates, we have been practicing matrimonial law for 28 years. Mr. Figueroa's background is not only in law, but it's in accounting, economics, banking, very important degrees and experiences that could be very useful when assessing these financial issues. A lot of times, attorneys may not be experienced or have that education in those areas, and that obviously is a disadvantage when you hire a lawyer, because the lawyer you hire does make a difference. Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. The website for the law firm of Figueroa & Associates, you could go to www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You could give this advice to your family in New York if you're overseas. You could also consult with the firm if your spouse actually ran away from the Caribbean, Africa, Latin America, and you need to find them. You may not think that they're obviously in New York. We could work with you to get your divorce and also to get, obviously, whatever financial assistance you qualify for. Again, the number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Thank you.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.